So I got these long guys. Come like once a week. And they were just mowing the lawn outside. I said to myself, like, why do they come once a week? You know, I know that they get paid to come once a week. But there's not even that much grass. And you could say, like, well, you know, they're trying to be proactive, or the person that owns the property, they want it mowed once a week because of paranoia or fear the grass is going to get too long. But I was like, why do they come once a week? And then I was like, well, why am I going to the dog shelter? And the cat rescue, dog rescue place today to volunteer? Why do I do anything? Why do any of us do anything? You know, why don't we just hit the streets and be homeless and deteriorate, dissolve? Most of us would be happier doing that. You know, of course, we would experience extreme cold sometimes, or we would experience extreme hunger, thirst, get bit by mosquitoes sometimes. Maybe we would die. Maybe somebody would kick the crap out of us. But for a lot of us, life would be a lot simpler. If we were to just choose to be homeless. I go through that state several times a year. You know, I'll just be, usually it's when I'm at my refrigerator. I'll be putting food away, or I'll be getting food. And I'll be like, you know what, man? Like, this is all way too easy. I need to be homeless. You know, so you could really experience some real challenges. You know, I was thinking about filming this today. And, you know, most of the time when I'm like very present, like I am now, like I probably come across like I'm extremely unhappy. You know, like that I'm just unhappy. And then I thought about somebody watching this video. And they were like, this guy doesn't seem very happy. And then I said to myself, what does it matter? If someone thinks I'm happy or not happy. I think so many of us, we put so much stock in that. We're so worried about what people think about us, or whether people think we're happy or not. doesn't matter. If we look unhappy, we look unhappy. As long as we're kind to other people, or we're nice to other people, we do the things we love to do. We do things we're passionate about. It doesn't really matter if we're happy or not. If you're always concerned with other people's happiness or what other people are doing, that's not a very good sign for you. And at the same extent, if you're always paranoid that or worried that you need to be happy, that's also very bad. Like when you want to be happy, you're wanting something to happen. You're searching for something to happen. And whenever you want something to happen, or whenever you're searching for something to happen, you're not accepting the present moment. You're not allowing the present moment to be. You're searching for something. If you don't feel happy, you don't feel happy. You need to go into that unhappiness. If you are feeling unhappy, you just need to go into that unhappiness and feel it. Let it take over. And figure out why. Like last night, I had this very weird dream. Because someone very close to me that I think is going through the process of death. I think they're starting to die as a person, and I think they might be dead very, very soon. I could just sense it. I could just feel it. Just know this person is most likely going to be dead soon. And this person's very unhealthy physically. They don't eat properly and they don't take care of themselves. And quite recently, they just lost everything that they hold dear. Everything that they love has gone away. So this person's most likely going to die from a broken heart. Because everything that this person loves is now gone. Everything that they were living for, everything that they were holding on to is gone. Or it's going away very quickly. So this heartbreak that this person is going through right now will most likely come in a form of the mind and the body are just going to give up. They're just going to give. And they'll probably die from a heart attack or something. Because they're already in really bad physical shape. Because of what they eat. Because of how they let their emotions get to them. So this has been going on, this heartbreak with this person for the past 4 or 5 days. And finally, Yesterday, I guess they canceled their cell phone. They don't have a cell phone number anymore. Yesterday, I went to write this person, and they were gone from the cell phone. They didn't have a name, they didn't have a number anymore where you have your messages. And I was like, oh crap, that's bad. They're already erasing themselves from existence. Not to use the Back to the Future line. So last night I had a dream about this person. I had a dream that they were talking to me and my sister about going into the woods and never coming back again. And we would never see them again. I think the woods was symbolic for heaven or something like that. And so this morning I was like thinking about this person, and I was like, how am I going to solve this? And I realized that, losing people is a part of life, and death is another stage of life. And if this person does die, if I do lose this person, I have to accept that. Just how people just have to accept being unhappy. It's the same thing. Everything is acceptance and surrender, If you're unhappy, you have to sit with yourself and figure out why. Without, escapisms like drinking and drugs and TV and movies and Netflix and Facebook and all this other crap. But to just sit with yourself and just figure out why you're suffering or why you're unhappy. And just be with yourself. In the present moment without distractions. And you'll figure it out. You always figure it out. As long as you don't have any distractions. That's the problem. So many people have distractions. Just can't allow yourself to have distractions. Give yourself the time to be with you, to be with yourself so you can figure it out. Whenever there's anything wrong in my life, I always sit with myself and I feel it and I go through what it is. And sometimes you don't know what it is. This is very hidden, or it's in the subconscious or the unconscious. You gotta sit and try to solve the issue, solve the problem. It's a problem, find the solution. And then everything in your life is okay again. And then 2 weeks later, 2 months later, a month later, you have another issue. Sit down with yourself, figure out what the issue is, find the solution, solve it. Then your life is okay again for a while. And that's what you really have to do. A lot of people, they just, they don't want to solve the big issues. They don't want to solve the major problems. Like my biggest issue is rushing around. I think a lot of people face that. Like I try to take on too much. I try to do too much. Sometimes I just need to be like, no, stop. You don't have to be there. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be a part of something. You don't have to be a part of anything. You just sit, do nothing. have this saying that I read on a cup. It says, if I sit in this room all day, it's okay. Eventually I may do something, but it's important to know that I do not need to do anything. It is conditioning that is telling the mind to do. So anyways, yeah. So if I seem unhappy in these videos, it's quite alright. Whenever you're present enough, and I know this is going to sound weird, it's not going to make you want to be present, but nothing is really that big of a deal anymore. Even death, and when other people die, it's really not that big of a deal anymore. Because you see it as another stage of life. And you don't really have any desires anymore, you don't have any fears anymore. You don't think that much anymore. You don't really have many feelings. You know, you experience joy sometimes. You don't really go through much suffering because you already pretty much solved most suffering. And you just are. And you don't need extreme things or these really exciting things anymore to make you happy. Because you could just sit on the floor like this and experience joy and fulfillment and happiness and love within you. So you don't need to go, white water rafting or surfing or mountain climbing or hiking up a mountain or any of that shit anymore. Sorry to curse. You don't need that kind of stuff. There's this picture of this guy. I was in Hanoi, Vietnam. I traveled a lot in my life. And this person was on a magazine cover. And they were partying and drinking. And it was like a tequila ad or something. And they were like, they had this expression on their face like, ah. And they were talking to some girl. They were both making this face together. So I guess they weren't talking, they were just... And I was like, with such extreme emotional highs, extreme emotional tolls and lows, if you could reach that level of excitement, there's something emotionally wrong with you. It means you need something to happen in order for you to become happy. You need to drink that tequila. You need to jump out of an airplane. You need these extremes just to feel, or just to appreciate life in the present moment. But once you reach this level of appreciating life in the present moment, you don't need those things anymore. That's why whenever you see Buddhist monks or yogis and they look like me, you're like, man, they look unhappy. But they're not really unhappy. They just figured stuff out. And they understand life. They appreciate everything. So yeah, we look unhappy. Hate to break it to you. Anyways, I hope you're having a good day. And I hope you had a good weekend. Peace. Later.